All right, dudes, we are here. Team list, round 26, 2 to go. Some big restings from the Storm. Frustrating for me. And this young fellow on the screen isn't making me feel too great either. But we'll get into him and we'll help you guys out. That's what we're here for, obviously. This Cowboys Storm game, we get into it straight away, which is fun as well. That Storm side. Pappy, he stays in the side. He's going to be very important for this one. We see Marion Seve come back as well, with Failonga staying on the wing. Munster sticks in that side as well, and then Wishart goes to 9, which is sort of the big guys that are staying in this side. It's Pap, it is Munster, and it is Wishart. They're the three main guys, and then Grant Anderson's going to be in number 7, which is pretty crazy as well. So yeah, 10 out of their 17, and they're the 4 of the sort of the main guys that have been sticking this side, and obviously Christian Welch as well, who's it's basically all the guys that have spent a fair bit of time, unfortunately, out of the side through injury and everything else. That's sort of the big news and the big reason as to why those guys are playing compared to the other guys that are getting a rest. And that includes my boy Sean Blaw, sadly, missing out the side. We just see King, Liero, and Meany, whose names are still in the reserves, which they won't be playing, but they are still there and available if things go south, that's for sure. But in terms of anyone you might want to buy in this team, I think it is just Tyron Wishart. Really, I think he can have a cracking game here at 9. May not play the full 80 at 9, but he should score really well. And in terms of a tipping side of things, who's going to win this one? Are the Cows going to step up and get a good win after a rest? We will have to see. But Drinky and Cotter and myself, if you have a Lukey or a Robson potentially, they should all hopefully score pretty well. And Jake Clifford's an interesting one. If you did want to go for a little bit of a pod play, he obviously scored great before the bye. He'd be an interesting one to have a look at in your side with McKaylee coming out of it, and they haven't even been able to list all of the outs. There's more than that, I believe, at 8 outs than what's actually stated down there. But yeah, Hughes and Blaw out for myself. Tough one there, that's for sure. But the Doggies come up against the Eagles, and it's going to be a little bit of a fun one. We do see Skelton in on the wing there with Stephen Crichton going to be out of this one. Jacob Kiraz goes into centre, and I hope that doesn't hurt him too much. We've seen obviously how good he's gone outside of Stephen Crichton, but a couple of weeks ago he did end up playing in that centre position and still scored well. So hopefully that's the case again. But Burton's the guy to buy in the Dogs team. Max King goes back into the start, and we do see Jamin Salmon move into the 13 role, which is good for him as well, with Kurt Mann obviously succumbing to that injury that he suffered in last week's game along with Stephen Crichton. So he's got the suspension, which is why he's out of this one there. And yeah, they obviously want him back by finals, which is the most important part. But Josh Curran has been named in the 17 jersey, and hopefully for owners of him that don't have trades, he does actually play, so you can have another looper or another guy in your 17, whatever comes out of that. And then Preston, you'd hope now that with Salmon starting in the 13, that you will actually get a full game or close to it from Preston this week, which has kind of worked out okay that he got that rest last week, so he can play the big minutes in this one. For the Eagles there, you've got Turbo, I still think is a really good option. He's playing incredible the last month, and he looks like he's their main guy, and he deserves to be. He's absolutely crushing it. So yeah, look at him. If you still want a bit of a point of difference guy that can score you really well, then he's one of those guys to do it. Garrick, I'm not sure if he's a buy anymore with the 2 tougher matchups. And then DCE, do you think he can bounce back? I bloody well hope he can, that's for sure. Olakwatu in there as an option, but I don't like him as a really solid option at the moment. And make sure to guys stick around for the end of the season. I'll be doing NRL Finals Fantasy, so just make sure you come back at the end of round 27 to the channel and the podcast, and I'll talk through that, how to get involved in that one there, with a couple of small prizes available just to keep you guys interested across the final series as well. Panthers and the Rabbitohs up next. I'm not super excited about this game, given I have 4 Rabbitohs guys, but they're all named, which is a good start there, that's for sure. And they only out they have is Shaq Mitchell. Who are we worried about in this side? Pretty much their whole back line, to be fair, I'm a little bit worried about, with Jacob Gagai returning there. Jai Gray, hopefully he can score pretty well here against the Panthers. They haven't been playing their best, so hopefully it's a fairly close one again. But I am worried about this game here, and hopefully Cook and Kolomatangi can dominate. And Cam Murray has actually been named, but he will be going to judiciary tonight, probably happening as we speak, and we'll find out a verdict on him if he's actually going to be out for the next few weeks or longer if he actually fails. It'd just be a fine if he gets off. So very, very interesting, that one. I don't own him personally, apart from the head-to-head side, but I know a lot of people do. And we'll be riding that one, that's for sure. And for the Panthers, probably likely now that Isaiah Yeo doesn't get rested, so is a great purchase here as well heading into this week. Outside of that, you could have a bit of a punt on a Jerome Luai, a To'o, those types of guys, I think, and then maybe an Edwards as well. But they didn't play very well, so he didn't get to score very well last week with Alamotti coming into that starting side. And unfortunately, Casey McLean moving to the 20 jersey there. So if you did need him to play, unfortunately, you're not getting that at this point from him there. Okay, moving on to the next game. You've got Eels and the Dragons, 3 p.m. on the Saturday afternoon, I should say, with guys like Blaze Talangi. I think you're holding now. Dylan Brown, they've got the Tigers in the last game, so just keep an eye out on those two. Brendan Hands as well. You're probably going to need everyone on deck, and you're unlikely to be selling any of these type of players for sure. And on the Dragon side, you only be looking to target a Lomax with their pretty solid last 2 games, and Jacob Little. They're the only 2 guys I'd be looking at there, with Couchman brothers both moving to the bench there, and there's no outs for this team there. For the Finns and Broncos, really, you're only looking at probably Herbie on the Finn side. There is a bit of a worry on Max Plath with a calf issue, along with Ray Stone, another issue, but they're both in doubt this week. So hopefully Plathy is all good. He got over that illness that he had a couple of weeks ago and played the full 80. So hopefully his calf comes up good and he's good to go. Basically, that's what I'm hoping for. And Jeremy Marshall-King's actually in the 22 jersey as well. So might be a little bit annoying there if they've got him ready to come back in, that they could just push Plath out of this team or to the bench or back to 13, which we know has been a great position for him. And for the Broncos on the other side, Reynolds is an interesting one. He picked up the 80-odd last week. Can he do that again? Or does he go back to some normalcy? We do actually have Payne Haas in the 22 jersey, so I'm personally hoping he doesn't play, because that allows Carrigan, who I bought in last week, to play those massive minutes again. But I don't think it changes too much. They need to win these last 2 games. So I think Paddy plays the full 80, and it just means that Payne Haas is going to have a few more runs, which slows down Paddy's running and his involvements on that side of the ball. And usually means he doesn't have to play the full 80. So we'll see how that one goes. And then Willison I own personally as well. It just helps Willison as well, not having Haas there, taking some minutes with Kobe Hetherington out. We do see Nikorima and Bromwich both out with concussions from last week, with Josh Kerr out of the side as well. And then you've got Sean O'Sullivan coming into 6, but not too important, that one. For the Sharkies, we don't see Nico Hines available as of yet. He's on the 22 jersey there. So you just see Trindle and Atkinson still in that position, but 22 for Hines means he is a chance. Ramian and Hiroti both come out of the side for Katoa, and also Talakai moves back into that right centre spot, which will be fun as well. So good luck to the boys on the other side, Chance and Ali Leataua, who are going to be up against Talakai and Iro, both playing incredible and very, very tough to tackle at the moment, that's for sure. If you're looking at any Sharks players, it is if Nico Hines comes back, and we'll find out over the next few days, and it's Britton Nickera. They're the 2 you want to target. Outside of that, no one really of note. You're holding on to guys like McInnes, obviously, but that's about it. For the Wars, again, it's probably only Adam Fanua-Blake that we've been speaking about, unless you want the last hurrah on SJ. Chance should be all right at centres, but you wouldn't want to jump on him there. And then Wade Egan is fairly cheap on that front, with Adam Pompey and Roger out of this one. Again, I'm going to be going to this game, guys, so it'll be a fun watch, that's for sure. I'm hoping that Nico plays, obviously, and it'll be cool. And if you do see me out there, come say hello. Don't be shy. Knights and Titans. For them, Ponga, really, really good purchase this week, along with Dane Gagai. If you have the ability to pick up either of them, I'll be looking to potentially grab one of them for sure this week, once I have a look at the funds and see where I'm at personally. But Cogger and Crossland are going to start in the halves. Dylan Lucas and Brodie Jones, unfortunately, with Kaipi's pull out with that cut. That definitely hurts, along with Tyson Frizzell. And on the other side of the ball, AJ Brimson is done for the season. He's going off for groin surgery there. Sort that out after succumbing to that injury, unfortunately. Brodie Jones, expect about a 40 from him. Expect good numbers from Dylan Lucas in that edge for likely the full 80 minutes there on that one. Greg Marzou, hopefully a good score from him in this one after, just not getting any good ball in recent history. For the Titans there, you're looking at Keeney, still a really good option now for the last 2 games. It's a bit of a point of difference play against a average side in the Knights there. Campbell should do pretty well in this one. Hopefully Fermor's back to, Fafita's back to some better scores and better minutes after a bit of a rest last week. And then Beau Fermor is a really solid pick as well in that centre position if you have that type of funds in hand. For the Roosters up against the Raiders, my annoying one of the week is that Connor Watson comes back and he doesn't start at 13. He starts off the bench, which is very, very rough. And he's still going to be that guy that is going to cover for injuries as well. So I'm frustrated by that one. And he's just not even a great price as well to even move him on to someone that's a bit more expensive. Obviously, he's down in the 600s now, and most of the guys I'd want are 700 plus. So frustrating, that's for sure. And hopefully he can still get 50 minutes and do well off that bench if I am not able to do anything with that situation. I will do some looping around him beforehand. But I still think in those types of minutes he can score well. But guys you want to target, I think now, Tedesco, really solid one in this game. Sam Walker could do a job as well, but probably more a SuperCoach pick than fantasy. And then in the forwards there, it is Angus Crichton. We know what he can do. And he did it last week, which was awesome. Hargraves obviously out of this one as well with Lenu and Collins in that starting position. And for the Raiders there, it's Fogarty, it's Tarpanay. They're the guys you want. And Tom Starling's actually been named at 9 again. So the experiment of starting with Levi last week didn't work. So this is my win of the team list here. All the other guys I was hoping got named or in the right position didn't. But Tom Starling back in the 9 jersey is really helpful there, although he was named there last time. And then Levi did start. So I wonder if that will actually happen again. I don't think Levi played very well. And shout out to the guy in the comments that commented on my drive-by on Danny Levi. That was a fun one for sure. But Hudson Young, a really good guy as an outside, kind of point of difference play that has an outside chance of scoring big like he has in recent weeks there. And then Suoli has been cleared of bad damage to his shoulder. But he's going to be out this week. And then Mark Noah Ganatawazi. Fair try. For a first look, has actually been named in reserves after moving from Union, playing 2 games in Cup, and he's on the reserves there, which is pretty cool to see for a transfer over from the other code. So there you go. But Nat Butcher in the 13, frustrating one for me. I wish you all the best of luck with your teams and what you're thinking about doing with trades now that the lists are out, and we should have a clear idea of who's playing and now who is resting. Good luck, guys. We'll see you in the next one.